Welcome to another Mind, Body, Spirit panel, part of the APL show, or Angels, Positivity, and Love show, where 2 to 3 experts get together to talk about amazing stuff: life, love, consciousness, spirituality, traditions from India, traditions, if it's pranic healing, it could be pretty much anything. We usually have just absolutely stellar guests on the show, and they're kind enough to then come on the panel and again, talk all things fun and universe. Today, 2 absolutely amazing experts. I love them to death. They're both incredible. They've both been on the APL show multiple times. And so with not too much more delay, let me introduce Vasi Therese Rose Lopez in St. Thomas, Caribbean, U.S. Virgin Islands. And we also have Ursula Lentine in Atlanta. Both are tremendous healers, a little bit different backgrounds. Vasi's been trained in India, actually worked with, learned from SRI Kaleshwar in the whole Sri Shirdi Sai Baba divine lineage in India. She basically loves doing divine channeling and helping others. Also, Ursula, generational healer here. She's got a doctorate in consciousness studies. She's a metaphysical minister, licensed that way, and much more. They both have much more to their resumes than we have time for to get into, but they're going to mention that in a little bit. I'd like to just first of all welcome you both to the show. Vasi, Ursula, great to see you again.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Michael.
Okay, we've all interacted a lot. We've all had a lot of water under the bridge, lots of beautiful water under the bridge. So again, I got to say, I'm excited to have you here. Do you mind if we start with something that is available now to everybody? You can run into angels in human form, or you can have the universe itself, love itself, interact with you more. You merely have to ask. But Vasi, you have a great story when your car broke down in St. Thomas on an island where you pretty much know most people. What happened that night?
Yeah, it was incredible, and I didn't realize it at the time that they were angels, but I was driving my car on the way home on a really hot day. Most days are hot out here, but it was in the summer. It was really incredibly hot. My car overheated and it started to steam. So fortunately, I had a little place to pull off on the side of the road, and I was looking around. I couldn't open the hood because it was too hot to touch. And I was waiting. I waited maybe 5 minutes, and then I saw this other car come up behind me, and I thought, what are these people doing? And 2 men got out. I didn't know who they were. I didn't recognize them. A lot of times you see people in the store, the supermarket, and you know them just by face. I didn't know these guys from anybody. And they came, lifted the hood with their hands, put the hot hoses back together the way they should have been. I think a hose must have broken off. I saw them doing it. I thought, how can they touch it? This is crazy. Anyway, they handled it all. And then they brought me and my son, who was with me at the time, to a house just to kind of freshen ourselves up. And, you know, they were on their way after that. I found out much recently, actually, that it was actually Sai Baba and St. Germain. So I'm kind of blown away with that. It was really incredible when I realized who they were, who was helping me.
I love that. Ursula, it doesn't have to be an angel encounter, but do you have a quick story that the audience wouldn't mind hearing?
Yeah, I was drawn to go to Piedmont Park here, and I rarely go. It's a lovely park. People were out on the weekend, and I was like, I don't want to go to Piedmont Park. It's hot, and I'm tired. And I heard, go to Piedmont Park. And I'm like, all right. So I went, and there was a blues playing, so I did there, but there's no other dancers. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just go walk around. I'm coming around a curve, and I feel some kind of feeling, and I look over, and there's a young couple sitting on a bench, and the man was leaned over, and she was kind of fussing at him. And I said, is everything okay? And she said, he just wiped out. We have these little scooters called birds, and he just wiped out on the bird. And then I came back to see him, and he was on the ground. And he's like, I hit a rock, but there's no rocks on this path. Like it's path and then grass, it's cement, grass. And then he's like, but I don't know how that rock got there. And I said, is anybody mad at you? And he's looking and thinking. So I did pranic healing on him. I said, listen, I do energy healing. Do you mind if I work on you? And he's like, no, please. And he had a red bump on his head, and she said he forgot what happened, like he was out for a little bit. So she was like a nurse in school, and she was like, we just learned about concussions and now I'm concerned. And then his arms were all thing, and he had a tear in his skin, and his hand was all. So I started healing him, and he was staring at me, and he's staring at her, and staring at me, and he said, I can feel it. I can feel it. I'm like, of course you can. It's energy, So it was just like life put me in that spot, in that moment. And then we talked about all of that stuff. And then 2 days earlier, I was just sitting at the park again. I don't even know why I'm being drawn there. And I'm writing. 2 young people came up, and they said, hey, we're just asking people about spirituality. And I'm like, of all people, you're talking to me about this? So we did this whole beautiful conversation. I went even into quantum explanation, and that the three of us were talking. I said, we're talking about life and what's important and meaningful. And because the three of us are here, we're creating a vibration that's going out to the whole park. And here we are, three again, creating another vibration that's going out into the world, the butterfly effect. So just a couple of magical things that just happened last weekend.
I'll share one. I was in Sweden. It's probably around 2000, 2001. I'm there for the St. Erikslopet, a half marathon. I've run a lot of races. I'm still running at age 56. And I'm way too early for this race, 4 or 5 days. I need to get to a track and do some turnovers, some repeats. And I get to that Olympic Stadium, 1912 or something. It looks like a Viking castle. It's that old, but it's probably UNESCO World Heritage Site. They don't lock their tracks up like they do for every high school in America. This is a giant stadium. I just walk right in, don't see anybody, a soul. And I'm pretty shy, so I'm doing my thing. And in walks a woman, young, blonde, UCLA track star outfit. And she probably was really back in LA at the time, but it was an angel named Heather who was there showing up in human form. I didn't talk to her for the first 20 minutes. She started the conversation. It made my trip. This is the angel Heather. So I got to chat with her, and she's shown up in Vegas. She's shown up in Austin, in New York, and also in Hawaii. In Hawaii, she was a Portuguese ballerina taking time off from life, a surfer talking to a bodyboarder. Anybody who knows those dynamics knows that's not possible. It had to be an angel. So there was my quick one. Okay, Vasi, Ursula, a lot's happened in the last couple of years in terms of love, consciousness, growth, personal, what you've seen going on around us. Would you like to take a stab at just what you think's going on in the big picture, personally, how you've shifted, any which way you want to tackle this? Who wants to go first? Let me see a show of hands. There we go.
You, Vasi.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, there's as you both know, there's a lot of light coming onto the planet right now. The Earth herself and all inhabitants are going through the ascension process, moving from 3D to 5D and even beyond, as some souls are ready for that. But there's so much light and support coming on the planet from the central sun, from Father, Mother, God, all our star brothers and sisters, that it's changing things at a very rapid pace, especially now. Each year it seems to progress more and more. And so it's just really showing us that we need to be on that love wavelength. That's what makes everything what it is. Love is like the currency, the Shakti currency of the whole universe. And so it's reminding people to really honor their soul energy, to honor source, to connect more deeply with themselves, to dissolve any fear that they have and replace it with love and all its beautiful expressions like compassion and forgiveness, understanding, feeling the oneness that we all have with each other, not just on the planet, but off planet as well. We're connected with all life, no matter where it lives. And a lot of humans here on the planet are seeded by other star systems. So we're a very unique species here on the earth. We're in human form, but our soul has such a history and such a beauty of divine expression from other places as well.
Vasi, two things about that. One, can you explain that last bit a little more in case somebody is still not like into the galactic stuff? They kind of get the concept of angels, love, and the rest. They're experiencing something. Maybe they just are starting their own personal soul journey or what have you. Can you touch on that a little more, because you say it so well? And then secondly, what's the tiniest 5-second exercise a day someone can do to just let a little more light in and not make anything a big deal? Because you don't have to try. Vasi, what about this whole many other star systems and people coming in soul-wise here to experience what it is to be a human and maybe to contribute a little?
A lot of humans have been seeded from other star systems. There's a huge history of the Earth, which most of us don't know because it hasn't been shared with us. So, I mean, we think we're just, Homo sapiens sapien, but that's just on the flesh level. On the soul level, we're a lot deeper. Other civilizations from other star systems have brought themselves here to the planet, infusing into souls like their divine gifts and their abilities, whether it was with technology or healing or education. And so there are many souls on the earth who have these abilities and backgrounds. They may or may not be aware of it. I think a lot of the conscious souls these days are aware of their origins, and they are very much honoring it, because as the earth develops on the ascension pathway, we all need to share our abilities and our gifts with each other, because there's going to come a time where money won't be, and we're here to support and love each other and just use our talents and our gifts for unifying all life on the planet and bringing back the technology that used to be here. Yeah. So
beautifully said. And what's one 5-second exercise someone can do just to go full stop or still or slow down a little bit?
To pause in the moment and breathe, just to be in the present moment with yourself, with the energy that's around you. Guides and angels are around us all the time. It's to be aware of that.
Brilliant.
So
Ursula.
just pausing for breath.
Oh. Ursula, I know you're ready to get going on this, because you got insights on this too.
Yeah, yes. So I study quantum physics, metaphysics, and what Vasi's saying, you could even put it in like our growth is happening. You mentioned the last couple of years. COVID really put everybody like on a reset. Because when your computer's acting funny, you're like reset, or just something, reset. So we had to all be quiet to reset, to focus, to breathe, to figure out, like, am I doing the right thing? Am I in the right place? Am I in the right relationship? A lot of people are moving right now. They're kind of repositioning in their area. So what's happening is we're growing. So if you remember when you were a child, and we have one level of reality, right? And then you hit a those middle school years, and you're like, wait, all this kid stuff's not real, and all this, and the parents, and you start realizing, right? Your awareness, your consciousness starts realizing, like, wow, the world's a lot bigger than me and my toys, and it's aggressive and it's scary. And then you kind of get some skills to be able to articulate and defend yourself. Then it's like we're growing into a new understanding of who we are and who the world is. The world's getting bigger. Compared to what Vasi's saying, we're becoming more aware of just our little ball here, that there's an expansion of other possibilities than we've been taught, right? Because if we realize, oh, I've just been taught these things, but those of us who have gifts, there's something else going on inside of us. And we're like, wait, what's this? What's this? How come I'm psychic? How come I'm intuitive? How come I, love the woods or love the sea so much? Then another example would be when we're, say you're an American, and what nationality are you? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just a mutt. And then you realize, like, oh, I have some genes, and I come from India, or I come from Italy, or I come from this. And then you start studying that culture and the essence of that culture. And then you embody it. You're like, wow, I'm from this kind of nation. And that's also, right? So we're doing national ideas here and discovery of our roots in another culture. But then you take it another layer and you're like, oh, maybe I'm from another galaxy, and then what are those galaxies about? What traits and talents do they have? And do I resonate with that? And do I have that? So I think we're growing up quite quickly, and we're realizing that the baby stuff that we've been taught is a lot of control device, and we're moving into the age of Aquarius, where the divine feminine, which is more the essence of who we are, is leading us, rather than the patriarch system and the control and the manipulation and the enslavement that we've been in for, you know, a long time. So I think it's just a time, it's a shift. And it's time for us just to realize things, wake up, be more aware of what possibilities, because we're taught to resist anything that's not being taught, right? So there's certain religions that like, don't talk to any other religions. This is the only one. Everybody else is going to hell. You have to stay here. And you're like, that's not the God of my understanding. So we're trying to move away from control. And is it okay that I'm not being controlled? That it's okay that I'm making my own decisions? Is it okay I'm trusting my intuition to guide me? And it's like, yeah, but it's hard because we're not used to this stuff.
And there's a lot of divisiveness going on, whether you turn on the TV or just listen to how people talk. We resist everything. We talk about everything. We judge everything. It's a fear-based thinking, or thinking itself most of the time. It's a waste of energy, and I'm not judging it. I'm going back to thinking after this panel. It happens. But if you just did a little less thinking, I'm going to quote an angel named Charlotte, 7% less thinking a day, or 7% more being in your heart, is all it takes to go total Gandhi on the whole scene. And you can meet Gandhi as well. So with that, I wanted to mention, it's really easy to just have a snap judgment and be like, oh, it's this way. It's more opportune, though, for you to say, how can I practice love in this situation, and true love, where you're comfortable and it doesn't really matter. You don't have to react. Can you just address that briefly, how it's love, 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 not really anything else? It doesn't mean you don't worry about the details here and there. You got to pay the bills. But how is this all about love?
Well, I think, like you said, it's very easy for us in the moment to criticize somebody. And sometimes it just comes up so automatically because that's our training and our background. And not that you say it out loud, but sometimes you can feel it coming up in yourself. And if that happens with me, I just kind of stop and say, okay, that's not the way you're supposed to go. Just step back and look at it in a different way. You know, maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe they just, you know, they haven't decharged enough or something. They have feelings, or their actions are describing something that they're feeling inside. So have a little compassion and, you know, cut the inner criticisms. Just send love from your heart. Feel that love coming out to them and bathe them in that instead of saying anything to yourself about them.
Totally. I do internal family systems, and we talk about parts. So there's a part of me who, a part of me that. So when we think of who am I, that's the silent one in the middle. It's just hanging out. So it's like, here, along for the ride. And then if you think of each emotion, that could be a part. So if people have a propensity for anger, just a part of them is anger. Sometimes the anger gets so big and it hijacks the system, and they can't control themselves. But as we move into a self-mastery, we can say, okay, angry part of me, you stay over there. And that's enough, right? There's more healing to do. But if we can just get the parts to calm down and stay down, and then the critical part, it's defensiveness, and it is fear-based. So if we're like, I'm not afraid, you know, like you get, like there's a tougher person inside, and we're like, no, we're not doing that. Like the teacher within, or the observer, you know, like, I see you, stop acting up now, like go sit down, love, love, love. Because we're also maturing in this change that we're moving from ego to spirit. And as we embody our spirit self, like our higher soul, it doesn't have to be out there anymore. It's coming in. And that's why the gifts are starting to wake up inside of our physical body. So we're trying to, you know, calm down the ego, our animal nature, and all of the three-ring circus, right? The thoughts, the feelings, and the stories. Like you're like, oh, I'm hooked in a story. I'm going to unhook from the story. And then we can, like Vasi said, breathe in and start spreading these parts out so they're not so crowded.
And Ursula, you've got Caribbean roots. You did 10 years in Anguilla, on a little island off Anguilla. So just needed to mention, we've got Caribbean vibes going on. in the show. And I think we're going to go a little interactive. We've got thousands of angels and other loving beings around us right now that could perfectly well contribute, or at least give us a topic to talk about. But I might blow some sage first. Why don't I put up the photo of Joy in light energy form, an actual angel. She's an ambassador communicator. She's the emotion joy, high peppy voice. Vasi, what are you getting from Joy as a reminder for us all?
To be loving with yourself, first of all. And then it is definitely easier to love others, to keep that within yourself growing.
And Ursula.
We're not in charge.
One angel once, I asked a hard question. It was about the big picture for mankind and stuff like that. And a Fiona said, it's things don't need to be fixed. It isn't up to humans, let go. But it was more about climate change and stuff like that. I don't think people realize that like planet Earth isn't quite the way we think it is at a dimensional level, or just basically speaking here. Okay, I'm going to light some sage. We're going to catch it. But why settle for just sage? Not that it's not amazing. So you'll see the sage smoke if you're watching this. Hopefully you've watched other shows. You're going to subscribe, like, share, comment, put some emojis down. Don't be shy. We're about to hit 500,000 channel visits. And it doesn't hurt to do a couple of emojis. So I'm lighting some sage. If you're hypersensitive, you're already going to start tasting the sage or smelling it. It's sage. Ask for flowers, sage, flowers, ocean if you want. Why settle for ho-hum sage, even though it's incredible? Call it plant medicine, light energy, anything you want to call it. Christ consciousness, love, sage, smoke. But let it clear you out. Can I just see, Vasi, are you getting it? Any flowers?
Frangipani.
Oh, nice. Ursula, are you getting sage in Atlanta, Georgia?
Some type of citrusy flowers, some kind of.
Plus sage.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it. Okay, I'm going to snub this out. And at home,
I taste the sage, but I smell the citrus. It's funny.
Just means you're hyper intuitive. Bravo. And in a little while, we won't have to light anything to have it appear. You can just ask for the sage and get it. I'll put up Charlotte for a topic that you both know blindfolded. And if Vasi, you could kick out one topic, Ursula, you could kick out another, and then we'll decide which one we'll go with.
Oneness.
Okay, and then Ursula, what do you get?
I'm just listening, okay? It's not me. It said stupidity.
Okay, you'll tackle stupidity right now. Let's do it.
It said be stupid.
Ooh.
Right. So I was like, what? Because of my background, right? Study, book, read, you know, class. And it's a time now to be like more thoughtless and to empty the mind. So we'll feel stupid because it's the new way is not explainable or readable. We just are going to be experiencing it and kind of feeling into it, just like children, right? When children are interacting with each other, they're like, I don't know, I don't know what to do, and then they kind of just figure things out, and then they create from there. And the message is, you know, be stupid.
I love it. And it's so none of this is about thinking. You can't grasp your way there. You technically can't workshop your way, seminar, retreat, or ashram anymore your way there, even though you can. There's no one way. It's always. It's just getting from here to here. But it's absolutely what you said. So this isn't about thinking your way there, grasping. It's about less thinking down to maybe no thinking once in a blue moon. That's it. Tiny little bit, 7% of your day. Vasi, what do you get and what did you want to talk about? It was oneness.
Yes, I just wanted to comment also on what Ursula said, that it's really important to have a beginner's mind. And so maybe being stupid means not trying so hard, not thinking like you know it and acting on your ego, but to have a beginner's mind, be open and allow that divine energy to flow through you as you, instead of thinking that you're doing everything. Yes. So on oneness, we've, human souls have been one all along. We just haven't been taught that. We don't necessarily know it. We see nationalities, we see countries, we see division in so many ways in this dualistic 3D environment that, oneness is sometimes a new concept for people, although it's not new, that it is the truth. That's how we're all connected. And Swami always said, God's religion is the religion of love. It's to love humanity. That's other religions are man-made, but the religion of love and oneness are really the path for everybody to get yourself to that level, to see everyone as one, no matter the color of your skin, your language, anything, your job, experience. Everyone is the same. We all have the ability to become divine souls as well. We all have the same soul, light.
I love it. I'm going to bring in Mary. At least I think I'm bringing in Mary, the big Mary, tight with angels, lots of love, unconditional love for us all. She's love. She's everything we need. If we all had her trust and faith, there'd be no more need for fear or worry. 3 Native American chiefs, Geronimo is also in there, said that about her. Here's Mary. I'm using a modern photo. If you're from Europe, the one with the heart on the painting, the drawing with her.
Yeah.
But here's a modern one. She can move in this photo. So see more sparkle in the eyes, see smile. If anybody wants to get rainbow glitter in your room, left and right of you, if you're resisting or trying, breathe extra through the mouth. If you need help, turn up the volume. But you can get glitter all over your room, rainbow glitter, and feel it when it touches your skin. Pure compassion and love. And get blessed, if nobody minds that word, or wind in the sails, or extra love. And here's something you'll share in just a second from her. Vasi, are you seeing the photo move a little while I'm trying to steady it with 2 hands?
Eyes.
And Ursula.
There's just that energy. I don't see movement, but I feel like an energy of coming from the eyes.
And you're sure you're not getting a wink in just a second? Oh, wow. Her eyes are lighting up, though. Okay. Ursula, what are you getting from Mary?
To be very gentle. Yeah. The divine feminine that we're moving into has some traits. And gentleness is, of course, one of them. It's innate as mothers, right? We're all mothers, the women. So there's a gentleness that if we become more gentle, we calm down, we breathe deeper, we're slower to react. So she just said gentle.
Vasi.
I got that to be humble, to know who you are as a soul, but to be humble and knowing that the divine is working through all of us. Share your gifts, but don't be proud like it's yours or something, because all gifts come from God, and it's our duty to share with others what we have been blessed with, to help other souls. So being humble in that expression.
Brilliant. And I'm remembering that I'm the host on this panel, so I got to keep things moving. And I have another photo for folks. I'm sitting there enjoying Vasi talking, and I'm like, yeah, right on. Right on. So I've got a colorized photo of Shirdi.
I'm sorry, may I add, I have a friend who has gifts, and he's so humble that he doesn't share them. And I'm like, no, Carlos, you have to you can't. And he's like, well, and I said, no, that gift was given to you. So I love that you said it's our duty to share our gifts, because a lot of people are afraid to share their gifts because they don't want the attention. And it's like the pure-hearted person is the one who gets the gift, but they're not good to be in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
But just like somebody who sings, maybe their personality, they're an introvert, but they have to get up on stage. And I love the word duty, then you feel like, oh, I have to share. That's why I was given this gift. I'll have to, check my insecurities over there so I can show up to share my gifts. So thank you for saying the word duty. I think that's really important.
And there's a ton of people walking around who are so open that their version of reality, they just think it's their version of reality. They don't realize how much they're absorbing other people's emotions, feelings, it's possible that as a result, their life is out of kilter or out of balance a lot. They picked up extra weight. They don't realize that it's all a function of just not acknowledging their gifts and balancing out and having better barriers. And that is a huge situation for a huge swath of the population. It could be workplace, family dynamics, just stress in general. You are like a sponge until you learn how to handle the flow. And I will put Sri Shirdi Sai Baba up, colorized photo. Mr. Miracles from 100+ years ago, India, tight with angels. You can catch Indian incense from a temple in the air. Say, got it when you got it. Sacred, if you want to hear a little bit of music.
I got it.
Yes, have it.
Yep, and he'll wink, smile, shoulder waggle, something. The hand moves in the photo. Again, I'm trying to hold it still. Get something, an insight that you can share and expound on. And I'm pulling back. And the viewers at home can put their hands up and feel the vibe through 2 screens. We haven't been doing that, but you can do it. Just give yourself permission. If you've got to rub in a circle, do it. No campfires. Just do this. Put your hand up. It's your heart doing everything. You're already an Olympian. You just don't know it. Okay. Ursula, what'd you get from Sri Shirdi Sai Baba, St. Bob, Babs, Baba?
He said be more playful, because more energy can come in when we're in play. So they've, done studies and, what's a genius. And then when the kids, they're all geniuses. And then when we get older, we get all this construction going on and it takes away our spontaneity. So he said, be more playful. So he showed like children playing in the dirt, because he's like this. And then that means like be outside, be in the earth energy, because even when I'm walking in the woods or, trimming a trail or whatever, it's almost as if the trees and all of that are talking to me. So when we spend a lot of time in nature and us, we have a relationship. So he's like, be more playful, spend more time outside. And in that playfulness, there was like a hole in the back of the head. I don't know. So a stream of energy can come in better when we're being playful. We're not so activated in the front cortex there.
Vasi.
Yeah, what I got from him was niche. Like find your niche in your life, like know your bit, know why you're here and what you are here to share with others. So find your niche that way, share your gifts and know exactly like what it is the divine is wishing to do through you. But also to find your niche in nature, to make sure that you're out in nature every day, feel like you're one with that energy, because that's where the divine really does exist, is out in the open. Mother Earth is just so abundant with all sorts of elementals, nature spirits, angels. And so finding your niche in nature as well. Every day, be in nature, let things flow to you, be comfortable with it, and let that be your life, your prana. There's a lot of energy you can receive that way.
You both like the word prana. Can you talk about prana for just a little bit? Ursula.
Prana is the Indian word. Chi is the Asian word, and the boring American word is life force energy. So it's the essence. It's the essence of life. So, when you ask a fish about water, then they say, what water? And that's what prana is to us.
Vasi.
Yeah, prana is our essence, the essence within us, the essence in creation. We're one with that. We're one with creation. So it's the energy that makes up this world, the life force, the prana, the Shakti.
And I've got a lot
The
of
mother's, yes, the mother's womb energy.
I've got a lot of Shakti, prana, mana, aloha, aroha, if we do Mayoran, coming your way now. Here's a photo, not raining, a lot of angels. And if you want to both put both hands up to the screen, ask for it all to come in. Feel what you can feel. Breathe extra to turn up the volume. And receive lots of divine love and fun. Joy is in the middle there. I'll try to put her smack in the middle. And there's Claire, the bright purple, smack in the middle. Ask for what you need to ask for. But in a second, I'm going to pull away, and here you've got this from thousands of angels. You two are going to keep your hands up and feel each other's energy and do something. I don't know what it is. It's called love. If you want to see light appearing around each of you, perfect. Never done this before in any show, but have fun. Feel each other's vibe if it's okay. If I'm not intruding, and you guys will just nod and say it's totally cool. But you two are two fantastic individuals full of love. Feel what you can feel, don't judge, but then share something or move a little bit of light around. It's really angels helping out Sai Baba, Sri Kaleshwar. And that was the other figure we put up earlier that we might not have introduced, that is addressed as Swami by Vasi. And that's Sri Kaleshwar. I'll put his photo up again. Maybe he can make a little bit of light, something, butterflies. And if you could at least have Joy come in and do pink glitter across like a fairy would do it right in front of you, just so you're going to talk in a second and share what you're experiencing. Who wants to go first? And you can keep it up while you're talking. They're experiencing it. This is not dead air time, folks. You can experience it. Boundaries, only high, love and above, unconditional love. Just do something. Set your antennas, what I would add. We've not mentioned that today. Just universe, angels, get me out of my head into my heart. Make this fun. Amen, rock and roll. Thank you. You could be about to eat dinner, go for a run, yoga. So feel what you can feel. Put your hands out. No one's going to see you. You're at home. So go big, go home. You're already home. Go big. Ursula, what's happening here? You two are not just sitting there, and it's not dead air. I guarantee it.
My navel chakra is getting bigger. So in our navel, that's the pot of gold. And I felt like Vasi and I were doing the infinity loop. And because we're both yin people, I can get yang, but I think Vasi, you live in yin. But we're being yin together. And this is a sisterhood that all women have. And when we feel safe with one another, and when we provide safety to one another, we can be very generous. So this is a reminder that all women can have this sisterhood if they create safety for one another. And this is something that we as a culture have not experienced in a long time. We get power through connection, right? So you have a lamp, but you don't plug it in. But when we plug into each other in a very respectful, honoring, beautiful way, in a safe space, like there's like plumes of energy happening for me.
Beautiful. Vasi.
Yeah, beautiful. I felt the connection as well at the navel and below in the womb, in the sacral chakra, but also in the heart chakra. Just sharing the consciousness, the positivity, the joy, feeling a lot of lightness and beautiful feminine expression. And like you said, yeah, that's not something that we're necessarily taught, not even at home, in school for sure, but not at home necessarily, unless we have super high vibe parents, really highly conscious parents. But I think that's coming, and more people are looking on YouTube and other highly evolved channels that have a lot of souls sharing this information. So I think it's more and more out there. It's who tunes into it and is picking up on that vibe, that it's being shared and more common. Yes.
Galileo once said, I got it written right here, we cannot teach people anything. We can only help them discover it within themselves. What does that mean? Duh. And here's Dull Knife, Native American chief, very down to earth, like a mountain range. He's wisdom with some humor. Anybody wants to start catching tobacco, sweetgrass, juniper, sage, nothing's being lit for you this time. Or cedar, desert pino, 50 different smells. Catch something sacred. Vasi, Ursula, are you getting anything in the air just yet?
Sweetgrass.
Sweetgrass for Vasi.
when a fire is burning out, just the embers, I can smell that smoky, ashy.
And for Dolnaif, what is he saying, Ursula, about discovering it within yourself? It's what we've been alluding to this whole time.
So back in the quantum world, they're catching up, and it's so funny, right? Because they're like, "Oh, guess what?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we've been doing that for, like, we know as spiritual people, we know these things, but the entire universe is already inside of us, and we're a shell, and so we've been like programmed that the shell is really important, and it's like, no, it's just a shell." That if you look at a cell and you look at the galaxy, oh, look, it's the same. So he's just saying the whole universe is inside of us.
Vasi.
Yeah, to know who you are, to discover who you are from within is really going into the silence. Whether you're in nature, in meditation, maybe daydreaming for a moment, in your bedroom or something, just going into that silent place where the truth is, and quieting the mind and just opening up to that wisdom that comes from your soul, allowing that to flow within you. And it's very subtle, that message, and you may not even get it the first time, but it will seep through in your everyday experience for you to pick up on.
Positivity is abundance. Let's talk about that. What does that mean?
Vasi, go ahead.
Yeah, I think positivity is abundance really means that there's so much of it around. It's for us to tune into it. I mean, there might be people who are feeling negative, but if you're tuning into positivity, which can be through your angels, your guides, even your inner self, having that really is the key to living life more in a more fulfilled way. And it could make you feel abundant, and you are abundant when you have that feeling because it provides everything to you. Positive way of looking at things, positive perspective, like not taking things too seriously, having more fun, being all right with yourself, even though you make mistakes. When you have that positivity, it spreads everywhere as well. It can exude from your being, and you share it with others. When you're around other people, they'll feel it and be attracted to you. It gives you, it just is everything, abundance for all. We all should be feeling that and bringing ourselves to that at least once a day. Swami would say, be positive in the morning, be positive at the day, and especially before you go to bed, be positive because there's a lot that happens on the soul level in your dream time. So that's where the abundance could come in as well, is having those wealth of experiences in your dream time with other souls.
Yeah. So back in the quantum world, they say when we're in the fully present moment of now, and we're not judging or choosing, that we're in the quantum field of pure potentiality. That's a term that Deepak Chopra uses often, and it's the perfect one because there's so many possibilities. And that is abundance. So we can, move into dread and worry and all the things, or we could say, okay, let me do a nothingness. Let me get rid of those things because those are uncontrollables, basically. And there are a lot of loops that we've inherited culturally within our family. And the brain is already programmed for more negative thoughts than positive thoughts. So we're trying to say, okay, brain, that's enough of that. When we're in the gap, when we're in that pure potentiality, that is abundant because anything's possible. So it's just raising our vibration, being more positive, being more trusting, being more allowing, more fluid, more flow state. And then we're in a place of abundance of things can happen. And when we say abundance, sometimes people think about finances, but if we really revalue where value is placed, peace, you can't pay for that, right? To find peace is is a higher value than $100 bill to find compassion, to find these things. So when we start valuing the things that we do have, the traits and the qualities that we've honed over the years or that we're working on building, that's a lot of value there that other people don't have. So revaluing, I think, is also a piece of this abundance. Positivity is abundance.
And Mary said, love is everywhere. Open your eyes to find love. I love that reminder. It's one of the few things I can remember in 13 years. I like it. Okay, here's Audrey Hepburn and Angel. Historical photograph. We know they can't move, but as we were just discussing, no limits is no limits. You want to allow for no limits? Just say, I'm allowing for it. Ask the universe to reinforce it for you and watch what happens during your week or during the day. Here's Audrey Hepburn and Angel. Catch an uninvented perfume out of Paris. Let her wink, smile, eyebrow goes up, shoulder waggle. And get a reminder on something privately for both of you, but also get one word or two or three or four or five, or maybe a mantra for all of us, a reminder. Ursula, what did you get?
She said, feel beautiful, and then you are beautiful. Because she's so beautiful to me. And she's like, I feel beautiful. That's why I'm beautiful.
So true. Okay. Vasi, what'd you get?
I got, let your authenticity shine. Let who you genuinely are at the core shine. Let your soul light shine.
Okay, I'm putting up a Greek philosopher, Plato, but no hugs for him. They're sweaty. A fist pump, tap on the shoulder. We've been forgetting to get hugs. I'm an idiot. What do I know? Here's Audrey one more time. Everybody ask for a hug. Matter of fact, why settle for one when you can have three? Three in a row. Call it an energy bump. Fine. One out of 500 people are like, I don't do hugs. Fine. Get an energy bump. A whoosh down the back. Yummy in the tummy. Feel like an egg cracked on your head, but it's unbelievable love and compassion rolling down your head. There's a million ways to feel it. Vasi, did you get your energy bump, your love?
I have, yes.
And Ursula, did you get it as well?
Yes.
I didn't do it. It's blame Audrey day. Let's do it. Okay, got to blame something. Blame Canada or blame Audrey. I choose Audrey Hepburn. Here's Plato. Everyone can see the old man's face. He doesn't mind me putting it that way. I'll put it like this so you can see the face, or I'll do this and then do eye, nose, mouth. But he's great for life insights, but let's have him go bigger for mankind. What is up with mankind now? Greater awareness coming in. Ursula.
Yeah, like Vasi said, there's the light. The bad stuff is being visible now because it's coming to the surface. It's like it was hidden underneath, and then the light's pushing it up, like cracking. And then we're like, ugh, what's all this yucky stuff? So we're like, oh, and now I think we're just going to be like, no, I don't think we're going to fight with it. I think we're just going to dismiss it, saying, no, that's really old and dumb, and we don't do that. That's not how we play. And then that will diffuse its energy. And the reason why all this bad stuff is happening is because there's more light bursting out of Mother Earth and the beings coming in, and us realizing the power that we really do have.
And I'm going to add in just for a second. I mean, you could look anywhere. Pick a country. Could be going dictatorial all of a sudden. It could be no more free elections. It could be anything. It doesn't matter. You don't have to react to it that way. You can only really handle what's 3 feet in front of you. I'm not telling you to duck your head in the sand either, but you can practice more love, more awareness, more consciousness, more stillness, or just being, and allow for everybody to be as they are, and view this, flip the donut over or the pancake, and allow this to be a huge opportunity of awareness coming in, or learning, or growth. Vasi, we're coming back to you because you can put a ribbon on all this. What's Plato got as a reminder with Sai Baba, SRI KALESHWAR, you? This is an opportunity for growth for man. Mankind's ready for less rat race, more compassion, kindness, gentleness. And you can do all the dirty stuff you want with crimes, this, that, breaking the law, corruption. Do what you're going to do. There's consequences, not for us to worry about. Just everyone has the responsibility or accountability for their actions, whether they know it or not. Ignorance is not an excuse, and it doesn't matter how much you got away with. $20 million insider stock trading tip that paid off. you're still going to pay the consequences for it later. We're not talking judicial system. Okay, Vasi, what are we talking about here with this whole consciousness, mankind, awareness? We're really expanding humans, really?
Yes, we are. And soon we will all know the truth. That's the word I got from Plato, was the truth. Like Ursula said, there's a lot of negativity coming up because the positive energy is incoming and they can't coexist in the same plane, the same area. So the negativity is coming up to be resolved and dissolved so that the positive only can stay. Positive energy, the high 5D energy, is going to become all there is. And as all of these negative events are showing up, a lot of people who've been perpetuating that negativity are going to be unmasked. The truth about their acts will be revealed. And even ancient truths about the earth, what has happened on the earth, are also going to be revealed. And so people really need to be able to discern what is the truth and what is not. And to be able to feel that within themselves, to know the truth. And there really is only one truth, but to know what that is, to acknowledge that the higher truths are coming through. And soon we'll all be living on that wavelength of the love, the truth, and the peace, and the right judgment.
I've got an angel named Heather who makes hearts in her photographs. And she's absolutely wonderful. I think I mentioned her before. So can we just hear a reminder from her about how we're not alone? You can take heart. If it's really bad, you actually didn't accidentally turn on the news for a whole hour and you made it through. And you're like, oh my God, sky's falling here, sky's falling there. This person did that. This person did this. And you're carrying it around for a little bit. I mean, welcome to being human. What does she say? A reminder how much we're being loved and supported. Just go for a walk, feet in the grass, do what you got to do, take a shower. Ursula, what do you got for how loved we are? We're not doing this alone, and no matter what, we're getting help. This isn't some fictional, yeah.
She reminded me of the DNA. Our ancestors live within us through the DNA. We carry their traumas, we carry their traits, we carry their tendencies. So even though we don't know our ancestors, you could see them in the DNA. Just like that, there's also angelic beings, guides, spiritual helpers, and they're around us. We just don't have the eyes to see, the ears to hear. But if we could feel that we're supported, because I think many people feel like they're being watched all the time. And that's a little bit like, I don't feel like I'm alone here. But then you can say, oh, I'm glad I don't feel like I'm alone, because we're the ones who are incarnated and we're the ones doing the heavy lifting. So they're like, yeah, you're doing fantastic. And we're like, oh, this is so hard. And they're like, you go, girl, go, go. And you're like, oh, no one's here seeing me. But then we're like, wait, I feel encouraged. I feel, even when we have close calls and we're like, oh, that was a close call. I wonder how that happened. They're like, we did it. But we can't hear them. So it's this funny game about feeling them. And then some people can see them, hear them, taste them, whatever. But it's that. So the DNA is in our family. We don't know them, but the angels and spiritual helpers and guides are here with us. Our lineage, whoever we belong to, is also all around us.
Vasi.
Yes, I got be open-hearted, to really not get caught up in your own drama, get caught up in your own mind with what's going on with you, to put that on pause and be open-hearted with yourself, with them, with their presence around you. And also being open-hearted with others when they may be having their moments and not able to be fully who they are, not be fully online with their soul self, to be compassionate with them, and ask for help for them as well. You can ask angels to help them, clear them, heal them. Yeah, so to be open-hearted.
I love it. Do you all have a time period in life you want to share where there was a series of events? It could be any type of event, but it finally got you focused one way, or stuff happened for you, doors opened, and when you were like, wow. And I'll start very briefly. It was the summer of 1990. I'm out of college, Middlebury College, and there are no jobs available. It's like a minor recession going on. I'm in Nantucket, lifelong spot, but before I hit the corporate world or whatever, I know I want to spend one summer there just to have that experience of full time. And my parents are like, hey, you're kicked out of the house. You're off island in 2 weeks if you don't get a job. There's nothing left. Landscaping jobs, restaurant jobs. I'm in line at the police station to get a parking permit because the town has just instituted some sticker thing that's now popular everywhere. And so I'm optimistically thinking I need a parking permit because I'm going to be here this summer. I'm in line, bulletproof glass. There's a dispatcher behind it. And I hear door after door after door slam inside the police station. And out comes a guy from a Mrs. Paul's fish sticks commercial. Raincoat, tall, looks like a thin Santa, uniform, immaculate. White shirt, though, so he's kind of more, not a rent-a-cop, but he's more like meter maid, can still write a couple tickets. He slams the final door, and it's the first time I've ever been publicly funny because there's suddenly now bad chi in the air, bad mana. And he leaves. And I kind of must have had an angel jump in me. You can confirm which one did this. I jerked my thumb up in the air for everybody to see, and I go, does that mean there's a job opening here? And the dispatcher says, quick as a whip, why, yes, there is. Are you interested? And next thing you know, half an hour later, I'm interviewing with the police chief. I am the worst with names. You both can testify to that. Street names, oh my God. But I've been going to that island my whole life. And so I had to do a little white lie when I was asked about street names. I'm like, yeah, no, I know them all. I'm like, within 4 weeks, I'll know, the first 10. I did know some of the names. And so later I got a mountain bike, got to ride around. They had lost the helmet back before legal matters would have interfered with that. So it was like chips, could hang the glasses here, write 2 types of tickets. And I was told to interact with tourists. So it was hello, this and that, best job in the world. One last bit about the rest of that summer. Hundreds of people met my mom and dad. They passed over in 1970 and 1992 when I was 2 and 23. Their time to go. I had 3 shoulder accidents all in a period of a week. Too many pull-ups on a rafter being Rambo. Woke up on a twin bed, metal, one of those metal things, great mattress. But I was upside down, wedged between the bed and the wall. Don't know what I was dreaming about, but I had hurt my shoulder that way as well. 2 injuries. Third, I'm bodyboarding all the way to shore, and I suddenly get pitched and spiked in this much water. And I remember seeing stars. I remember seeing those tight little shells, if you know New England, the coast, when it immediately dips down right there. I mean, I'm this far away. You can still drown in this much. Hit my head, hit my shoulder bad, and that cut off my thoracic nerve the rest of the summer, and very painful. But short story, I would have drowned. It wasn't my time. My dad, with the help of angels, I got this backstory later, saved me, whatever that means. That means I came to consciousness and got the 2 feet onto shore and was like, beached whale. So those are my stories. I had a lot of help that summer. Did anybody get who it was that helped me jerk my thumb up and be funny at the police station? Who's taking responsibility? Was it Charlotte? Was it Joy?
I didn't get who. Did you?
I got Mac.
Ooh, Mac. I love
Either
it.
of those.
Okay, and I'll put Mac's photo up. There's Mac. Everything plants, animals, and nature, but Pleiadian origins with a touch of Orion, Andromeda. I never can remember what. Last bit. What does Archangel Michael say about my dad saving my butt? You each are coming up on your own personal experiences, a time period of life where you've walked away and you've been like, wow, chin up. What's Michael say about the surf incident?
Your dad is like highly responsible. Like he would not allow it at all.
I can't keep it straight. I love it. Thank you. Vasi, did you pick up some stuff? We don't have to get into it, but you got some stuff as well.
Yeah, he's really watching out for you. He loves you so much.
Thank you guys for doing that. And my mom's
Yeah.
a sweetie, Barb. We're going to call her out right now. 5'4", amazing connector, great energy, great vibe. Just get a lot of love from her, both of you, because you both have been fantastic to me. So let me honor you and say thank you very much. Not namaste in bed, but namaste in the I'm honoring both your souls. Okay, Ursula, I bought you all the time in the world. What's the time frame period of your life you're going to share?
The island story. It's Antigua, not Anguilla, but they both.
I'm sorry, Antigua.
That's okay. No. We would get Anguilla mail, all the time. And it's Anguilla because they both start with A, whatever.
I've been to Antigua.
The 9/11. The impact that shook the world. So 4 citizens from Antigua were, there. And Antigua's a very small island. I don't even remember the population. But what happened to me was the Shakti pot. and it said, get out, get out, get out. I was in a miserable marriage, very unhappy, The Walking Dead, just kind of like, I wish I could die, right? That kind of place. And it was like stuck. And for 2 years, I was like, I can't break my vows. You know, I made my vows and all this stuff. And I was just like a zombie. And then it just like hit me really very hard. And I was just shocked. And it said, get out, get out, get out, get out. And I'm like, I don't have anywhere to go. Like, what am I going to do? You know, and it's like, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. And within just a few days, I was able to assemble my courage. And within a month, I moved.
And didn't you touch the ocean that night?
Yeah, there was one night, not that night, but there was one night where I was just in the ocean. And it was another time, but there was a comet, and it looked like a hole was punched into the sky, and there was rays of light just coming out. So it was some, you know, event, and I just was like, wow. And it was in a way like there's other possibilities. There's other possibilities. So because I didn't feel any at the time.
And Vasi.
Yeah, I have a story about COVID, actually. That was a scary time for so many people. But we have felt very protected, and for two reasons. It had just begun, and it had just begun in China. And we had visitors come to our home who had both just been there. One came like in December, visited us. We didn't know anything about it yet. And we had a visitor here. She was living with us, staying in one of our rooms for about a week. And for some reason, she decided to leave early, and she, you know, took off. But the next month, we had another visitor who had just been in China, and he was here with us, stayed again like a week. None of us caught anything. You know, soon afterwards, we found out that COVID was going around the world. Fortunately, these two people didn't, I guess, didn't have it, or if they had any kind of contact, we weren't, you know, affected by it. So I was just thinking, you know, angels really protected us in that way. Even we could have, I suppose, contracted it, but we didn't get anything. We were thanking our guides and angels after that, you know, what a blessing that we had people who had just been there fresh off the plane, but nothing really got to us. And then a couple days after that second person left, there was a really beautiful sunbow in the sky with streams coming out from it, like you're protected, you're blessed, it's okay, you know. So it was really beautiful to have that as like a little memo from the divine. You're surrounded with love and protected.
Okay, you each came into this panel having prepared something. You had to. You knew this was coming up. What is it you want to share that was at the forefront at the time that now is way back, upper tier, mezzanine maybe, of the amphitheater? What topic?
When you get asked, yeah, earlier, the word that came through was fear. I just want to say, I'm noticing your guru behind you has light on his face from your sunshine. You see, Vasi? See how he's lit now during our little
yes,
conversation
right.
here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Shirdi Baba.
yeah. So it's
Yeah,
fun. It's like he's
beautiful.
glowing into our conversation.
Mm.
Before the show, you'd ask, you know, what's one topic that we need to discuss? And the word that came up for me is fear, that we need to address fear. When we're afraid of something, we always point like, oh, that's the thing I'm afraid of. And then we fuss about that. But that's spiritually a waste of our energy. What we should fuss about is the fear. So it doesn't matter what we're afraid of. It's our relationship with fear that we need to address, because that's the thing that we can manage to be with. Because that thing is on, you know, like whatever, like they said earlier, you're not in charge. So when I have fear or sadness or pain or doubt or whatever, anxiousness, depression, whatever those things are, it's not about that other thing. It's my relationship with that emotion or that energy. And then how can I be with that? Because these scary feelings that are so big, we avoid, right? And then now when we're avoiding, we're in distraction, we're in addiction, we're in, we just bring in another, like, oh, I'm going to worry instead of be afraid. So no, our spiritually correct thing to do is just say, okay, me and you, fear, let's just sit down and have some tea. What are you afraid of? And try not to be as emotional, because these emotions tend to hook us and drag us along and hijack our system. But if we can be in that kind of sane space, that silence, that, I'm loved and protected space, now we can sit with whatever emotion is up and say, it's okay, I've got you, just like the parts were. Because this fearful part is an ego part, and the spirit part is much bigger. So if we can soothe the fear and calm the fear and be with the fear, then the fear can calm down and start trusting us. We're still not going to solve the problem, but we don't have to respond to it in such a giant way. We can just calm it down. And then this love and compassion for that part of us that's having that reaction can integrate, and then we can feel more powerful with these bigger emotions. We're in a changing world, and change is scary because it's unknown. So our reaction to change is something that we can manage. We can't manage the change, but we can manage our reaction in response to the change, especially fear.
Vasi.
Great. Yes, so the word that I got was restructure. And what I get from that, it's really that there is a lot being restructured right now within ourselves, our DNA, our chakra system, the earth is being restructured. There's a lot happening with the influx of light. And so it's really important for all of us to honor that this is happening and work with it, or allow it to work through us. So making time for meditation, time in nature, choosing, having an intention each day is really good. Like maybe this day, I just want to be in the love flow. Another day, I want to experience deep peace. And then allowing that time to sit in silence, to sit in meditation, to let that feeling come up, let that energy, that vibration come through your being. So allowing the restructuring, being present with all of this new energy, and restructuring to the God qualities that we all have, and let those be our expression, our essence coming through.
And what's joy have to add to make it a trifecta? Ursula?
There's no words for what she just gave me.
Beyond words, which is a very important concept, because none of this is about words. Ditch everything we've said, but ditch what you're thinking at home, folks. It's about being here and doing a little tra-la-la-la-la out of a Disney movie. Pick one that you like, an old one, 50s, 60s, 70s. Okay, what are you getting, Vasi, from joy?
Along the lines of no words, just peaceful mind, quiet mind.
Okay, here it is. Just here, you've got this. 4 archangels, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel. Quick exercise. No tri-iota. You hear a big thumbs up from them? You haven't heard what you're doing yet. Here's Charlotte. Hear it from her as well. You got this. I'm just scooching my chair over. You want Joy, Sai Baba, Audrey Hepburn? Let's have them show up in the room here. Let's have Joy show up first. Blonde, 28-year-old, jean jacket, upscale dress underneath. No wings, then wings. Audrey next to her, Sri Shirdi, Sai Baba, and Charlotte. Charlotte will be dressed Santa Fe, New Mexico garb, white outfit, turquoise jewelry. Just say, got it if you got joy.
All right.
I'm more clairsentient, not visual.
But if we bust out with no limits, maybe we can at least get light. I'm like, oh, and check out Joy over here. Ask her to help out. Ask her to catch a little bit of light in your room around you if that's the fallback.
I can feel them.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you close your eyes, Ursula, and go mind's eye. How about that? That's easier, right?
Yeah.
Now you can see him. And I'll do this, Vasi. Vasi, are you getting at least Sai Baba? or all four?
Joy and Sai Baba.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Good enough. And then Ursula, are you getting him that way?
Yeah. It's kind of funny to see them together because you always show them individually and they always take up a lot of space. It's kind of like when the Avengers come together and they're battling, and you're like, oh, look, Thor's with that guy. Look, oh, they're together.
That's exactly the great way to put it, because you have some sort of a reaction to those comic book heroes when they get together in a bigger group. You're used to seeing them either solo in their little duos or quartet, and then there's a bigger group, and it's a better comic because for some reason bigger is better. Okay, last little bit here. What do you want to leave us with as a reminder? This isn't the last time you're coming back on the show, and people need to check out, by the way, you've already been on the shows. I'll just do it this way. Vasi, you were episode 28, July 30th of 2023. You're also going to be episode 198 in March of 2025. Ursula, you were episode 10 in March of 2023. You're going to be episode 129 this October 2024, but you'll both be back on in the future later. And if not, talk to me after the show. Okay. What do you want to leave us with, Ursula?
Inner resourcing. That's been my message for months now, that the outer resourcing that we've been dependent on is changing, so undependable. But what's inside, the silence within, is very dependable. That's the very thing that's beating our heart and breathing our lungs. So far, so good, right? It keeps us alive. That is inner resourcing, our intuition, our heart, and our instinct becoming more reliable on those aspects because they are in fact dependable.
I love that. Vasi.
Yeah, what I'm getting is flow, finding your flow within yourself, allowing those gifts to come up, honoring them, sharing them, and also allowing the divine to flow through you like a river. We're all rivers leading to the ocean. We're also the ocean. So just allowing that flow to be in your life and to feel that love and support from the divine.
Thank you for that. I always cut you off with the last two words. Sorry about that.
It's
Okay, here's Harmony and Angel. She's just going to give us the thumbs up. I'm going to whoosh light your way like a ping pong ball. We've done this before. We'll do it 3 times: small, medium, and large. Hear from Harmony something extra about it all that I won't know. Just say got it when you got it from her. That's supposed to be rainbow light. It's interdimensional photo. If you want to see a pulse, a flash, we know photographs can't move, but we've already busted that myth with Audrey or Sai Baba. And get what you need to get. Ask for what you're going to allow for, or allow for what you're going to ask for, or allow for what you're going to receive. I don't know. Here comes the connection, though. If you don't mind putting your hands out, love and above only, not my bill paying side, not my thinking. Flip the donut. And then here comes some rainbow light your way. The first, it's all angels. It's Sai Baba. It's the crew. Here it comes. Feel some Shakti, some Prana, some Chi, some Mana, Aloha, Aroha. A smorgasbord of words for extra vibrational fun. You guys get that okay? Okay. Second one, turn up the volume a little. Think of those blocks of stereo components, a receiver in the 1970s, 30 pounds, huge volume wheel or tuning wheel. Nice to move, though. Move it a millimeter, it feels like you're driving a Mercedes. Turn that volume up. Feel it up and down your back, the Shakti, Shakti pot, whatever, the chakras. Here we go. Catch a little Hawaii in the air, breeze on your nose. And Ursula, did you get it on your back at all?
Back heart chakra specifically.
I didn't do it. Okay. Vasi, did you get it on your back as well?
I have it on my crown and the sides of my head and coming down my shoulders.
Yay. Last one. Go big, go home. You're both home. So guess what? You're left with big. Ask the crew to really suck it to you. Why settle for the present moment when you can have this ripple all the way through the end of the year? Send a postcard if it happened. Okay. Here it comes. Do not. There is no try. And that's for the people at home. who aren't so sure about it, put your hand up, play this back, let go, breathe, relax. You got this. How do you fall asleep at night? How do you brush your teeth? How do you take a shower? How do you enjoy the shower? How do you read a book? Well, probably don't do that as much anymore, but start reading a book. Read. Use your brains. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm quoting a British comedy. Okay. You got what you got? Can you use some words to describe all three of them? And just what do you think just happened there? Divine love, extra love, consciousness, fun, sparkle. It's got to be your words.
Relax and trust.
Rainbow light flowing.
Yes. And it was coupling, the British comedy I was trying to imitate. If anybody's seen that, it's a good British comedy. You both have been fabulous. Thank you so much for being on the panel. If I had to put it to you, though, one final mantra, somebody is guaranteed to have something happen if they say it at least 10 times and click their heels 3 times, maybe a little less than that. What's the final mantra that you would recommend? You've personally used it. You can recommend it like Consumer Reports. What mantra are you going to recommend? Vasi, we're going to you first. You're stuck with this one. We bought time for Ursula. What's your mantra you want to leave us with?
I would leave everybody with Baba's personal mantra. Om Sai Shri Sai JJ Sai. It brings so much love and comfort. He takes care of everybody. He has a way of doing things like nobody else. He can work magic. He can work miracles in your life. Om Sai Shri Sai JJ Sai.
Om Sai Shri Sai JJ Shai.
JJ Sai.
Sai. Whoop, I said Shai. Beautiful. Ursula.
The one you started with, love, love, love. It's the reset button that we were talking about earlier as well.
And we'll finish with joy, literally. Anybody can put their hand up and feel what they want to feel at home. This is your last shot, and ask her a question. Doesn't matter how big, how small. Start small, though. Like, hey, what do I need to know in life right now? Hear a little inner voice. It'll be your voice for 1 second. Second you let go, get to hear, you hear, hey, high, peppy voice. Is she high and peppy, guys? Can you just remind everybody she is high and peppy? Is she not, Ursula? Is Joy pretty darn in your face?
Yeah, that angelic is there. They have a high tone. They have like a high pitch. It's a part of their frequency.
Mm. And Vasi, you like Joy?
I agree. Yes, I agree. She's full of joy, full of high energy.
Well, so are you both. And thank you for being guests on the show. You're both wonderful. Ursula Lentini in Atlanta these days. Vasi Therese Rose Lopez in St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. I love you both. You're both amazing guests. I can't thank you enough for coming on.
Michael, thank you for hosting us. You're an amazing host. You know us both very well. And, you just know how to be with us in our way. And you're very adaptable. And I just appreciate your presence and keep the ball rolling. And, it's just really, I adore you. You're wonderful. The service that you're doing to humanity is not being recognized, but I recognize it. I take that away. It is being recognized and known. To me, I think you're way ahead of the curve, and your silliness and your giggles and all of that stuff is really uplifting humanity. So keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you, Ursula.
Thank you, Michael, so much for having us both on. It's really great to be solo with you and to be with the group. It's really a lovely energy. Keep your shine on, keep the jokes rolling, and it's really grateful. I'm really grateful for you, your essence, and this Dharma that you just swam right into. So keep it up.
Thank you both. This has been a Mind, Body, Spirit panel as part of the APL show. Folks, last chance, hit the subscribe button. Don't just peek in. Watch these shows towards the end. You've got guests actually taking steps on most of the shows. You can join in as well. Put a comment here and a few emojis. What was your favorite part about the show? Thank you, everybody, very much.